healthy living, creating a life of abundance, experiencing freedom and peace. These all come from self-mastery. Welcome to the Life by Design Institute podcast, where we tie together spirit and science to build your personal foundation. Now, here's your host, Dr. Will Miller.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spiritual Revolution Radio today. Today I'm going to be talking about what it is that keeps us really from achieving our goals, our dreams in life, and kind of give some ideas about some daily programs we can put in place to overcome these obstacles that seem to stand in our way of being able to do that. Just want to remind everybody to find me at lifebydesign.institute, and from there you can get a hold of me directly, or you can join my private Facebook page, or you can go to it directly at Optimal Living Blueprint on Facebook. So let's kind of get started. I mean, what really is powerful enough to keep us from achieving our goals and living our best lives ever, and really taking advantage of opportunities that come our way? You know, many people are living this self-image they've created through their fear, really, and haven't been able to get past that conditioning to move on to truly achieving their goals. Because there's really only a couple of things that go into the fact that we can't achieve our dreams, we can't achieve our goals. And the first one's simple, you know, it just means you haven't identified what that is. That's what we do at the Life by Design Institute, is we help you identify what your worthy ideal is, what your purpose is, and help you put that in a way that you make that part of your daily meditation and your daily routines and your daily programs, so that you begin immediately living that life. So once you get to that point, the only other reason besides fear or fear-based things would be, do you really actually want to achieve your goal and or your dream? And for some people, that does cause some anxiety and fear. I believe there's three things really that keep us from living a very imaginative and very intuitive life. You've heard me talk on previous shows about our innate senses. Much like our physical senses, we have 5 innate senses, and intuition and imagination are 2 of those innate senses. And all of us have our intuition, and of course, I talk a lot about how to build that intuition and increase that ability that we all have on a daily basis. But intuition does not work when 3 things come into place. The first is indecision. If we have indecision in our life, and we have doubt in our life, or we have fear in our life, our intuition just shuts down. And I'm going to talk about some differences, because many of you will go, well, no, fear and intuition are tied together, and they are, but there's different kinds of fear, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But the fear I'm talking about, and the indecision and doubt I'm talking about, those 3 things, any of those 3 things will shut down your intuition. Your intuition cannot work when you are in a high state of doubt and indecision and fear. And it will shut down intuition faster than anything that we can do. And most of us would like to, if possible, eliminate those things from your life. And you can. We can teach you how to alleviate indecision from your life. We can teach you how to alleviate doubt from your life. We can teach you how to alleviate certain kind of fears from your life. But there's certain kind of fears you can't and don't want to, because they help you in life. There's 3 types of fears. There's the illogical fears. Those are the fears we're talking about when I'm talking about fear. Standing for fear is evidence appearing real, right? Those are irrational fears. Those are things where you lay awake in bed all night because you're afraid someone might sneak into your home, or you're afraid to move forward on a dream or a goal because of failure or loss. Those are irrational or illogical fears. And then we have healthy fear. I mean, we all have healthy fear. It's what keeps us from putting our hand into a fire. It's what keeps us when we get too close to an edge of a tall cliff or a building. It's that fear that kicks instinctively and says, time to step back, or don't do that, or, there's a tiger on your tail, you better run, right? So that's healthy fear, and we all need that. So that's the only kind of fear we really need to have. We do have real fears as well. And real fears are things that are really happening in our life. I talked about illogical or irrational fears being really false evidence that we've created that's appearing real to us, such as someone sneaking in the house in the middle of the night. It's totally created. There's no one outside your home most of the time, and the chances of it happening are slim to none. So you're creating that illogically. But real fear is, you may be facing a big assignment, or you may be facing a big hurdle to overcome to reach your goal, and that creates a little bit of fear. That's not necessarily a bad fear. You should always feel a little fear whenever you're going into something new, because it's new to you. That's what happens. That's part of life. That also means that you're about to grow, and that's something to keep in mind when we're feeling a little bit of fear, but the excitement outweighs the fear. Then, because we know where we're going, we know the direction we're going, then now we can move forward. That's time for growth. That means growth is on its way. So, indecision, let's go back to it for just a minute. So, indecision being one of the big things that keeps us from achieving our dreams or our goals. What happens, even when we identify what direction we want to go, we are faced with decisions in our life. Maybe you want to accomplish a certain goal for the day, and you have friends who want you to go out of town for the weekend with them. But you know that this weekend was dedicated to moving forward towards your worthy ideal or your purpose, the things that you really want to get done. Indecision becomes the worst, because with a decision, right or wrong, there is power in that decision. All decisions carry power with them. So whether you've made the right or wrong decision is not near as bad, because any decision made can be changed. And a decision made doesn't mean you've stopped going after your goal. And a decision made, even if you've decided to go out for the weekend, it doesn't mean that you've stopped wanting that goal or chasing that dream. It just means that you've made a decision to take a break from that and do something with your friends for the weekend. So there's power in a decision. Indecision is the killer. Sitting in what I call limbo is the worst place for any of us to be stuck. Limbo is not just stagnant, it's reverse. We think it's stagnant, but it's actually reverse, because the world and everything that you're trying to accomplish continues to move on. See, one of the natural laws of the universe is that energy is always moving. It's never stagnant. So whether you choose to participate or not, that is always energy around you will continue to move forward. And the people around you will continue to move forward. They'll make decisions whether you do or not. So indecision, and then doubt. Doubting that maybe you can really achieve that goal. Are you really worthy of that goal? Am I important enough? There's so many things that people come up with as I talk to them in my practice that that goes under the definition of doubt. And we all have doubts from time to time. And we're going to talk about how to overcome that doubt and how to overcome that indecision. And then fear. Fear is the one I want to talk about here for just a minute. and just define a little better. We've talked about the fact that there's illogical fears and healthy fear and real fear. Well, healthy fear we all have to have, and we need it to survive, and it's part of who we are, and be grateful that you do have fear. Real fear and illogical fear. Let's talk about those two things. Illogical fear in Think and Grow Rich. He talks about in chapter, I think it's 15, and you guys will all correct me, I'm sure, on Facebook if I'm wrong, but I think in chapter 15 he talks about the ghosts of fear. And he talks about overcoming illogical fears, the 6 main, what he thinks are the main fears in our lives that we must overcome. And these are ones we can all overcome. The first being poverty, the fear of poverty, fear of not having money, being able to support yourself, being able to take care of your children or your family or whatever, yourself, whatever it happens to be. And that's, again, an irrational or illogical fear, unless you're faced with it. But even being faced with it, it can be overcome, which is what makes it an illogical fear to walk around with every day. It's something that you need to overcome and let go of. And it usually comes from our conditioning, meaning that the way we were raised or what we hear on TV or what we think being in a bad situation might be financially, or what we think how poor people are treated differently, or whatever it is that creates that fear for us. We've created these beliefs within inside of us that we haven't been able to let go of, and it creates that fear of poverty. The next is criticism. This is something I grew up with during my life. I was always worried about being criticized, and it was definitely part of my conditioning. We were supposed to live a certain way and act a certain way, and my parents were well known in the community, and we had to behave a certain way. I remember going through high school, especially, always worried, having this fear of being criticized, and changing who I was to fit in, so I wouldn't be criticized by who I thought were my friends and peers. And luckily, I was able to overcome that and learn from that experience, and create, or not create. I'm already myself. We're born divine, all of us, but really let go of that fear of criticism and understand that criticism comes from someone who is feeling that way about themselves. The third that he talks about in his book is Think and Grow Rich, again, is ill health. And a lot of people, I think, are worried about, especially right now, about getting sick or being sick, and really looking at it logically. And that's what you have to do, really, with all fears, poverty and criticism, ill health, and loss of love, old age, all the things that we're going to be talking about. You have to think about those things logically. And look at statistics and do your homework and understand, even in the world we live in with COVID today, your chances of getting it are fairly slim. You can decrease those chances if you have issues that you need to be worried about, and just educate yourself to the truths that are out there. But living with the fear, or truly creating the fear for yourself, it puts you in a really stagnant, lost place, and you'll feel lost, and you'll feel stuck. In really, education and knowledge is what overcomes that. And then loss of love of someone, loss of love of a relationship, or loss of love of a loved one, and losing that love because of that is a fear many people have. And it keeps a lot of people from really opening up themselves, keeps people from opening themselves up to other people and having great relationships. Many people have been hurt or lost love and will never go back to finding a true, amazing partner because of that fear that they've created. They never want to be hurt or feel that hurt again. And that's, again, an irrational way to think, because there are people out there that are there to be a part of your life and there to give and there to share with you. And it's a matter of just aligning yourself with the right energy, aligning yourself with the right frequency, defining your purpose, defining your worthy ideal, and creating that energy about you, because that is what attracts the right people to you. And then the fifth one here is old age. And many people are afraid of getting old and losing their, it kind of goes in with ill health. They worry about losing their health and getting old and not being able to do the things they really want to do, or travel, or live their dreams, or it's too late now, I don't have enough time to accomplish this. Well, it's never too late. And age is something we've created in many ways in our mind about what it's like. Again, it's a conditioning within us from what we've been conditioned to believe by society, if you will, be that our parents or TV or our masters out there, who want us to believe that at a certain age we should all be on medications, we should all be in rocking chairs on the front porch, whatever, how your belief happens to be. And again, it's just an irrational way of thinking, an illogical way of thinking, because there is nothing that stops. I have friends that are in their 70s, 80s. My father was in his 90s and active every single day. And I have friends that do more than I do, can climb and rappel and do all sorts of things that I can't do, and hike 3 times the distance I can. And it's all the state of mind of them not falling in to the ghost of fear of old age. And then the last, and probably what I think a lot of people worry about, is death. Death being the sixth ghost of fear. And this one for me, I guess I've just never had a big issue with this one. So I always look at it this way. I'm not this body. This is not who I am. I use this body for a 3-dimensional experience. That's all. I'm here to use this body to experience these things, and to experience these feelings, and experience these relationships, and experience these new things, and live my purpose in a 3rd-dimensional experience. That's not who I am. There is no death. When I pass, there's no death. That's why I call it this person passed. They're still the same person. They're still the same higher self. We truly are our higher selves. You're not this body. So a death becomes, once you truly understand that, death is kind of an illogical fear to have. So as we look at these things and we put it into play in our daily lives, and we say, okay, and you should look at these 3 things: indecision, doubt, and fear, and then look at these ghosts of fear that go along with it, and just see, where is it what are the things that are holding you back from your dreams? What in this area can I change? Because the only way to, fear is there. We've either created it, or there's a good reason for it. So you have to be able to address it. You can't just ignore fear. Ignoring it puts you in a stagnant place. You still can't grow with it. Your intuition still won't work. As long as you have it, it's going to be there. So what you have to do then is acknowledge it, whatever it happens to be, whatever that fear is, whatever that doubt that's going on in your mind. I'm not good enough. I'm too old. I'm sick. Whatever it happens to be, you need to address it. And then just, again, it comes down to, once you see the elephant in the room, the elephant doesn't look so big, and you can take it down piece by piece. Any fear, any doubt you have, you can take down piece by piece. And once you start to do that, once you logically start to look at it and say, how rational is this? If it's a healthy fear or a real fear, then there's going to be a rational explanation for it. And you'll be able to address that then, whatever that happens to be. And then, of course, if it's a healthy fear, you better find out what it is. Is the house on fire and you need to run out of it, or whatever it is? But if it's a real fear, meaning there's a real reason for the way you're feeling that way, then you can address whatever that happens to be. that's creating that real fear. Their life goes in waves. So we're going to feel those waves. Sometimes the pendulum is on one side, but we always know it's going to swing back the other way. Another law of the universe, right? So once we address those doubts and fears, we can now look at what's left, and that is indecision. Why am I not making a decision to do this or do that? And many people are just saying, I don't know what's right, right? That's what I hear the most time. I just don't know what's right. Well, that's simple. My simple question to that is, which one will bring you closer to your worthy ideal? Which one's going to bring you closer to your purpose? Which one's going to bring you closer to your dreams? If we've identified those things, those are easy for us to see. We've made them part of our daily practice. So which one is going to move you? And if neither one is going to move you, remember the secret, and that is there is power in a decision. There's no right or wrong decision when you're at that point. There's no right or wrong. There's just a decision to be made. And the power comes the moment you make that decision. It frees you, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it in your chest. You'll feel it in your solar plexus. You'll feel as if a weight has come off of you, and you'll immediately be able to see more clearly. And if you've made the wrong decision, you'll see that you've made the wrong decision. But when you're faced with those types of decisions, where you're in that place where fear and doubt are out of the way, and you know that neither one is a wrong decision, and neither one is necessarily the right decision, the power comes from making the decision. And then you can move forward. All of a sudden, you're no longer stuck. So what's the program you need to put into daily practice? Understand your purpose. Understand your worthy ideal. Make it part of your daily meditation. Make sure you're doing your morning meditation, and make sure before you do your morning meditation that you've read through or gone through your worthy ideal and what that looks like to you, not only in your mind's eye, but by attaching emotion to it, because it's the emotion along with the thought that creates the universe's energy, the quantum field, to react. And once you put that emotion in the morning, make that part of your daily practice, and then you take action. Review that worthy ideal, take action, do your meditation, exercise your body. Take 15 minutes even and exercise your body. And then put into practice that worthy ideal. Practice it every day. Practice, for me, patience, gratitude, humility, understanding, love. Practice that every day. And by all means, calm down and just have fun. Don't take everything so serious. Why? We're just here for three-dimensional experience. This isn't who we are. There's no reason to take it so serious any longer. I'm kind of running out of time, so I just want to get some information to you again. Again, find me at lifebydesign.institute on the web. Go there, reach out to me with your questions, and get onto my private Facebook page at Optimal Living Blueprint. We'll get it out. And then if you want to be on the radio show and or just have questions, get a hold of me at spiritualrevolutionradio.com. Everybody have a great afternoon, and love and peace. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Life by Design Institute podcast with Dr. Will Miller, building the foundation for healthy living, ultimate abundance, freedom, and peace. For more information, go to lifebydesign.institute.